Hello, Rochelle, and welcome to the Naked Coach.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good. How's it going?
And it's still okay, so catching up on all the stuff that I pushed on the back burner for this weekend.
Okay. No, you said you have your son's wedding is coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this week,
this week.
Friday.
Friday. So close.
Yes.
Is that what you have on the back burner, or is it like business stuff?
No, yeah, mainly that. Like I had to go shopping this weekend for that. So a few of my follow-ups I pushed to the back burner, put it on today, and now I'm putting it to
You liked shopping though.
Not really. Dress shopping was not a fun experience.
Oh, is it shopping for someone else?
Well, no, it was just dress shopping for me. Just wasn't that
Oh,
much fun. Yeah.
nothing like the styles are just like,
Yes.
yeah.
No. Yeah.
What color are you looking at?
I ended up going with gray.
Gray.
Yeah.
Kind of
Because
goes with
every
everything.
hmm
There you go. All right. Things that go with everything.
Yes.
What are some
It's
other things that go with everything?
well black, except you can wear black to a wedding. So yeah, it's always like a lot less opportunities when you have something going on.
hmm
But besides that, that's about it. Just playing catch up today, getting all my stuff done, and always more work to do. And it's tax day.
Yeah, it is tax day. I saw that on my calendar. Yeah. Well, let's turn it into like when I first met you and you started talking about housing for
Yeah,
new home time buyers, that like I got chills just listening to you talk about that. It's like your passion
yeah.
in that.
Well, I mean, if you go, you're renting and you're paying a lot of money every
hmm
year. I mean, just to rent someplace that when you move out, you have no equity, you have nothing. It's
hmm
gone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if you can buy like maybe not your ideal home, but you can buy something that, works for you, then later on when you move or you really, you're doing better, you're making more money, you want to go to something bigger or a different area, at least when you move, you have equity.
Yeah.
Like you can move out, you can sell it, or if maybe it's paid off, maybe you can rent it, maybe it's an income base for you. You never know. But if you just continue to rent, you move and what you have is what's in your place. And
Mm,
that really doesn't equate to anything. You never build equity.
right. And I know that's
That
one
happens.
thing for sure,
Yeah.
but the one thing that really like caught my attention, like because of how you felt about it, was helping someone find the home that works for them. Of course, with the
Yeah.
equity, like, hey, in the area and how long do you
Yeah.
plan to stay somewhere? Like you really dove into that and I felt that.
Yeah. Because I mean, as much as, oh, I love this house, if it's
hmm
not worth that, or if you're not going to be able to sell it, if it's not going to be a good investment, because as much as it is your house, it's your home, it's an
hmm
investment too. I mean, it's one of the more expensive things, probably the most expensive thing you're ever going to buy. I
Yeah.
mean, gradually, theoretically, you're going to move on and buy a more expensive house, but it's still going to be always the most expensive thing you're buying. So it has to be looked at not just as a home, but as an investment. I mean, you don't sink, thousands of dollars into a car that you're not going to be able to drive for a few years. Well, you can't sink hundreds of thousands into a house that you're not going to be able to resell and make more money than what you've spent on it.
Right. And that's like tough, making
Yeah,
transition. That transition, like you said, you get a new car and then I'm putting all this money into this car, but the
yeah.
it's
Car
not like real estate.
I mean, you buy a brand new car, you drive it off the lot. It's worth less
Mhm.
when you sign the papers.
Yes.
I mean, because you're putting miles on it, you're doing that. Houses are not the same. They should be worth more than when you bought it. Theoretically, hopefully, you can sign on the paper, and you're buying something that your appraiser was already more than what you bought it for. And all hope in reality, that's always what you want. It doesn't always happen that way, but always what everybody wants. But real estate market's been crazy. I mean, ever since, I mean, the 2020 when the interest rates dropped to 2%, like people were paying way more than appraisals. And now some people are stuck. They can't sell that house for what they paid for it. And then their interest rate was so low that they can't afford the same house that they're in now. Because I mean, it happens, and I mean, it's not great, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's never a conversation you want to have. Luckily, I've never had, I haven't had to have it with any of my people that bought with me, so that's always the positive.
That's why
But
you're awesome.
yeah,
That's why like I felt that good intention, like,
yeah.
hey, do your homework, what do you want? Your the way I haven't purchased my home, but when you started talking about it so with such warmth and like honesty, like, hey, this is what's going on. This is and that's what I was like.
Luckily, in 2020, most of the people I put them in brand new homes. So like their equity is unlike a car. Their equity was they already had some, and because of the interest rates, they've already grown their equity a lot. Um, but yeah, because the resale time at that time was crazy. I mean, people were getting multiple offers on listings. They were selling within 24 hours. They were selling way overpriced, over appraisal. Nobody cared. They just wanted the house. Now, since everything's calmed down, and some of those people are like, "Oh, well, I need to move." Well, you can't like they can, but they're gonna end up with a payoff. They're not taking equity from that house and putting it in another one because you spent $10,000 too much on the house to start with. And I mean, it sucks, but it's kind of how it is. I mean, some of them realized when they bought it that they knew what they did. Just some people haven't. And is it going to become more of an issue? I'm hoping not, because luckily they did get a low enough interest rate. Hopefully, a lot of them are paying into those loans and paying them down. And essentially, like the lower the interest rate, the lower their monthly mortgage payment is going to be. For the most part, property tax and insurance always go into that too, but it helps. But a lot of them, yeah, I've had a lot of people tell me, yeah, I want to move, but I can't afford to because I had a 3% interest rate, and now you're looking at six something. So what I have, I can't buy again. And it's true, they can't. So it's just finding that middle ground. I mean, I don't foresee interest rates going back to 2%. I really don't.
Yeah.
Um, as much as I hate to say that, I would love it to
Yeah.
happen, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, because it just keeps going up or staying pretty stagnant. So
Yeah, I think we're more likely to see another eclipse in our lifetime than see interest rates
yeah.
back at 2%.
You seem to really grasp onto those concepts, like having to review this information and like, hey, this is
Yeah.
what it is. Like,
I have a lot of investors that I work with too, and I mean that's exactly what they're trying to do. They have to buy low enough to be able to put money into the house, upgrade it, and then sell it, which I mean probably puts me more in the mindset that it is an investment, even if it is where you're going to live. But it's harder to find anything. And a lot of the investors, like some of them I work with, were good. It's easy, it's smooth sailing. Some of them want to make 100K on each deal, and I'm like, you're not making that. Like it's, I mean, at that point, it's almost a tear down anyways. So it's difficult. Pay towards pay towards the mortgage,
exactly.
pay it off, or and it can come in handy. Like things
Yeah.
happen, people lose their jobs, you get sick, you have problems, and it can be an extra source of income. You just have to use it. I mean, it helps. It does really does help.
It seems like it's helped you a lot for sure. Because it's like there's something that changed there, that shifted for you.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I've had rentals for a long time, and I won't go into how long because then I age myself. But yeah, no, I enjoy it. I mean, and you get some, I mean, yes, it's difficult at times. You're going to get that one lousy roommate or that one lousy tenant. It happens. But for the most part, most people are pretty good. I mean, if you're good to them, they're good. They're good back. So can't
Yeah.
complain. I can't complain.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. When you're good with people, people are good back to you. And I mean, I really liked that, and I can feel it coming from you. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. So,
Yeah, you work with them a little bit. You're like, hey,
mhm.
yeah, I understand, things happen. I mean, you're a couple days late on rent. All right, well, as long as I get my rent by that time, you're good.
Yeah,
And then like, well, my renter I have now, COVID happened and I lost my job, but she was working in the medical field. So she paid the first every month on time, no, never late payment. And I mean, at least some kind of income was coming in for me because, yeah, I was working
definitely.
in a bar, like, we weren't open.
Yeah. Well, good.
But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. What other questions do you have for me, ma'am?
Oh, that's about it. That like wraps it up. It's you really opened up about, what you enjoyed about your job is really
Yeah,
educating, and kind of just be having people become aware of investing versus just like putting your money into
buying. Yeah,
nothing, like rent myself.
yeah.
um
You'll get there. You'll be
I'll
ready.
get there, yes. And the other one is, I did notice like you're still working on perhaps maybe making time for things you enjoy. You said you're gonna do it
I
tomorrow,
am.
so
Yeah,
that's good. Hey, you're getting there, but you really enjoy what you do, and it's like
I do.
it takes a lot of your time, but like in a good way, because when you talk about it, you're enjoying it. You're not like,
Yeah,
and then that's really nice. Like, not a lot of people
yeah.
enjoy what they do, and it's, yeah. So you're kind of
Yeah,
like, can I do
no,
more work?
I doesn't bother me. Working is not
Yeah,
bothering me at all. Like, I
yeah.
enjoy what I do. I mean, there's always
Hmm.
aspects that, paperwork sucks, but I do a lot of it.
Right.
It's not that difficult. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, for the most part, I enjoy going to work every morning, so I can't complain.
Yeah, and I like that you work in a team. Like you have a team. Like you have your investors and everything. You're not alone.
No,
You're not alone.
no,
And I really,
no,
I really heard that when you were talking about it, and
no.
that's really cool. I think we all need to work as a team to, feel like we can do what we want to do. So,
I'm fine. Yeah.
yeah.
It's hard out there. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to do stuff everything by yourself. It's hard to,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, if you have the good people behind you, it makes stuff a lot easier.
Yeah, and you're a good person, so I'm sure your team is like good because you're like good with good, right?
Yeah.
So, Rochelle, thank you so
So
much. That's
thank
pretty much
you.
it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And
No problem. No problem. Thank you. Thank you for having
yes.
me.
All right. Well,
All right. Talk to
ciao.
you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.